Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. As part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development Program, and in particular the AWD1100 C# Programming Fundamentals class, I've been going through a series of video presentations I'm creating based on the PowerPoint slides for the book for the class, which is Murox C# 2015. And so far I have finished this whole section here, 1 through 3, and everything here except I had only done half of Chapter 10. I'd like to finish that right now as best I can, so I can go on and hopefully tomorrow get a good jump between tomorrow and Wednesday. I'm here on Thanksgiving week, so I'd like to get that done this week. Then possibly the week coming back, do this one and get into this as well, and finally finish up. All right. So I'm jumping back into Chapter 10. And I left off these properties for creating custom dialog boxes. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. These aren't things that personally, some of the stuff in here I use, but much of the stuff that's in here I use very infrequently, if ever. So here is a custom dialog box. Notice payment form.show dialog. What are we doing here? We're creating a new form, and then we're telling it to show. All right. Now, why is that big a thing? Well, it is a way of creating a new form on the fly, so to speak. All right. Now, if I come in here, this isn't going to work very well because this is a console application. But if I come in here and I've got a GUI application, I can also right mouse click on the name of my project and choose add, and I can go in and I can choose an add new item, and I can put in a form that way. Probably can do it here as well. All right. But what they're showing you in the text here is rather than creating it ahead of time, we could create it as the program is running. Okay? All right. When you put up a dialog box, here's things that you can put with it. Okay, cancel, yes, no, abort, retry, ignore, and no. None, rather. There's also something called a tag property. What a tag typically is used for is, I kind of look at it as it's sort of something that you can use that can hold any piece of data that you want associated with a form. It could be something that sort of a form secret or a key or something else. It could be something else, something else. All right. So a statement that sets the dialog property. Here it's setting it to OK. Here we're setting a tag. Code that uses the result here. All right. Well, when you use this dialog result enumeration, you are typically asking a question to the person using the program. All right. One that I use a lot, and you'll see something similar to it in just a bit in here, is if the user is working on a GUI program, a graphical user interface program, and they click the exit button. If they click the exit button 100 times, 99 times, if not more, they mean to click the exit button. But just in case, all right, I put an enumeration there with a dialog result that says, are you sure you want to exit the program? With a yes and a no. If they click yes, the program exits. But if they click no, you stay in the program. That's kind of what they're talking about here. All right. On the other hand, with the tag property, as it says, this is kind of neat. It provides a convenient way to be able to pass data between forms in a multi-form application. As it says, a dialog box can set its tag property before it returns control to a main form. Then the main form can get the data from the property and use it as it needs to. So it's of a type object, so you must cast it to the appropriate type or use a toString on it. Okay? So here is typically the way these enumerations are used. Okay, you put in a message box, .show, then the text is the text in the message box. All right. Then there is a caption where, basically it's a title, and you can put buttons in, all the ones we have talked about previously. You can also put in an icon. All right. It's none by default. Information is the I. Error is typically, I believe it's a red X. Warning is like an exclamation point. No, maybe not. Maybe it's a question mark. I don't remember. But there's a bunch of them you can use. You can set default buttons, and you can check the result. So if you make this a yes, no, you can check and see if the dialog result is equal to yes. And if it is, do something. Or if it's no, and in that case, do something. So here's an example. So let's break this down point by point. Messagebox.show. Are you sure you want to save this data? That's the text that always goes right there. All right. Payment. That's the title. Now, these don't have to be on separate lines, but what's nice about doing that is the author, and I do it this way myself, really breaks it down. You can see what goes with what. So that's the message box text. That's the message box title. Here are the buttons, yes, no. Here is the icon, a question mark. All right, and here is the default, button 2, which is no. All right, you'll notice it's got the little thing around it. I don't typically use a default button. Some people do a lot. It just depends. So again, if it's equal to yes, you would, in this case, you'd save the data. Otherwise, you wouldn't. All right, the code for a dialog that cancels a closing event. Kind of an important thing. If you've got an open file, notice what, and you tried to close it, you get a message here, the form contains unsaved data. Do you want to save it? You are giving the user one last chance at redemption, so to speak. And if they say, no, I don't want it, it's gone. All right. So do you want to save it? Yes. And something will happen if you do that. Whatever. You say no, boom, it'll get out. If you say cancel, if you say no, it won't save it, it'll get out of the program. If you say cancel, it won't save it, but it'll stay in the program. All right, so they're showing some examples here. This is a customer form that you can save or you can exit. All right. 2 versions of the payment dialog. Well, notice that one's grayed out and that one's not. Here we've got credit card, so that's the information. Here we've got bill customer. So probably this very well could already be in a database or in a file or something. All right, so they go through how they set all this stuff up. I'm not going to do this. It's not that it's not important. Of course it's important. But I've still got 15 chapters to go in this book. And not only that, I've got to work on stuff for my other class. No excuse. I'm just telling you the truth. All right? So they give you the code in there for that customer form. I'm not going to run through any of it. And for the payment form. And that pretty much is it for this chapter. All right? So again, I have now completed Section 1, an Introduction to Visual Studio, and Section 2, the C# Language Essentials. So I'm going to pick it up again in Section 3, talking about object-oriented programming.